afternoon. We have a couple of items tonight that require action, but under new business, I wanted to point out that we have the Rebuild Alabama Annual Transportation Plan on there. And we're going to let that roll down, and you'll have something on that hopefully at the next meeting. And just as a reminder, I will not be in attendance at the next meeting. John B. will be here to stand in for us, so if you have any questions or anything. But anyway, on the Rebuild Alabama plan, as you know, you have to, as a commission, you're required by the new law to approve your plan for next year of how you're going to spend the new funding under the Rebuild Alabama Act. So, but that will have to be approved by you, I believe, before the end of August. So we'll try to bring you a draft of that soon.
Russell, question. So we're going to start collecting that new money that we have to have this plan for in October, correct? September.
I believe the state's going to start collecting it is on September the 1st, and we're supposed to get our first, I guess, deposit, if you want to call it that, of the funds no later than January of 2020. So those are the rules. So beyond that, I'm not sure when it will be.
Right. And so when you're talking about the plan required under these new guidelines, now are you going to look at just trying to plan, having a bunch of separate plans, or are you just going to try to do one big plan for all the money that we've got to divvy out in the road plan?
Well, our County Commission Association, or the County Engineer Association, is developing some, I guess, standard forms, if I can call them that, so that we can all be sure to comply with the law when we make our plans. But basically, it'll be one plan of, all together of how you, basically just what roads and what type of projects you plan to spend the anticipated funds for next year. Did that answer your question, or did you not?
Yeah. So it's basically, I guess part of what we're leading up to is, we're going to start collecting, money in 2020.
Right.
They'll start collecting at the pump in 2019. We'll get checks in 2020.
Right.
So there won't be a whole lot we can do initially.
Correct.
Unless we take out some sort of loan or some sort of short-term note to do that with.
Right.
And you're compiling some information on whether we do that or not.
Right. I'm just kind of giving you a draft proposal to consider, and then sort of my suggestion, and then of course y'all can revise that however you want to. But now what you said is true, except for what we call the federal aid exchange funds. That's the $400,000 in state money that will be available October the 1st.
The trade-off from what we were getting federal.
That's correct. And that money will be available in October, and we anticipate, it'll be up to y'all of course, but we anticipate using those funds to match the industrial access funds for resurfacing 7707 up to Lockheed Martin's to support their expansion. But that will all be included as well in the plan.
Could all of it be on one package where all the money on file you gonna spend?
Yes, sir. It'll be.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And of course, this will be the first time we've done it, Commissioner, so I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like, but I anticipate that it will be very concise. It'll be almost on, like one sheet of paper of how you plan to, and you'll have to do that every year. Of course, at the end of the year, you'll have to give a report of what you spent the money on the previous year. That's part of the accountability that was built into the act, so that the public knows exactly where every penny of this money is going. But under current business, we have I handed you a memo. It's time again to begin advertising for annual bids for goods and services. So we just got you a list of those for you to approve to allow us to begin advertising for that. And then also under the CDBG EDA grant, that's item number 2 under your current business on your agenda. We need to, first of all, we received the award letter for the $500,000 from the EDA. We received that today. So, and I think you need to vote to approve that award, to accept that award. And then the second thing is, now that this is available, Mackenzie and I have discussed our short-term loan that we're using to finance the IA project for Rex Lumber. And this, of course, is for the same, to benefit the same exact industry. So we would suggest that you consider extending that loan. We don't know yet. We've never dealt with EDA, so we don't know what the timing is going to be on this. So we would ask that you extend it for a year, if needed, to give us all the time we would need to finish this project out. And also the amount, we would suggest that you extend that out to $1.5 million. It's currently at $1 million.
Is that extension just so if the current IA project has not been fully reimbursed and we started this one, you could have one budget at the same time?
That's right. In case we are able to move quickly, and I hope we are, and in case we're able to move quickly on this project, then it is possible that we could owe a large amount to this project and still owe, maybe $500,000 or so to the industrial access project.
If you need a motion tonight, we set that one to approve your annual bid.
Right, to approve that, to allow us to advertise for annual bids.
On the credit business on the floor, have you heard anything from the CDG?
No, sir. Those applications are still being reviewed by ADECA.
Any more questions for me?
Yeah, I got one business. Can you go into depth a little bit more in explaining the loan bit more? Because I wonder why you want to extend it for a year.
Okay. Well, it's about to expire in August, so very quickly it's about to expire. That short-term loan was set up just as a cash flow management tool, if I can call it that. Whenever we pay the contractor on this industrial access project, the county has to pay the contractor and then get reimbursed by the state. So we have to float that money, and we're using this short-term loan, to fill in the gap there. So these are typically, they're paid back relatively quickly. And we think we're going to have to do the same thing on this other project, the EDA project. So it is $1 million. It's $500,000 EDA funds and $500,000 CDBG funds. So if it moves along quickly, we could owe the contractor as much as $1 million for that project, while still not having fully been reimbursed for the industrial access project. So it's possible, hopefully not likely, but possible that we could owe, that loan could have over $1 million at any given point in time outstanding.
So the $500,000 that you got today is not going to where is it?
Well, that's one half of the funding for the project to resurface 7714 north of the lumber mill. Half of that is $500,000 EDA and $500,000 CDBG EDA funds from the state. So total combined, that project is $1 million project.
But there, what you need, I think, clarify, the repayment is, we've not been awarded the money. We just used to vote on page 11, item 2, it is a reimbursement program. So all we've been given is an award of the potential reimbursement.
That's right. So as the contractor works, then we have to pay the contractor using county money and then get reimbursed. And we don't really have that kind of money laying around, so that's what the short-term loan is for. Thanks.
Email.
I don't have any items that require any kind of action tonight. There's just 3 things I want to make you aware of. We did receive notification today from the U.S. Small Business Administration that Pike County has become eligible for economic injury disaster loans available to small businesses, small agricultural cooperatives, things along those lines as a result of Hurricane Michael, which occurred back in 2018. We will be sending this out. I'm working with McKinsey to get it out to the chamber and other places, but if we have any constituents in that area that may be interested in one of these loans, we'll do that. I'll also work with the messenger to see if we can get this press release to them and get some information out to people. But we were, Pike County was included in that. The 10 southeastern counties of Alabama were included in this program today when we received that. Any questions concerning that? Along those same lines, if you haven't been paying attention to the weather, there's a possibility, I'm not trying to be alarmist or anything, but there is a tropical depression potentially brewing in the Gulf that could impact us this weekend. As of this afternoon, there's still about an 80% chance. We'll keep you posted by email if that develops. So just want you to be aware of that. And lastly, next Thursday, we are partnering with WSFA, and we're doing a WSFA Weather to a live broadcast. It's EMA, WSFA, the university, and first responders will be doing it over by the soccer field. They're going to do a live broadcast and to raise awareness about weather and severe weather next week. And there'll be a lot of first responders there. It does from 4 to 7 o'clock, so if you have a few minutes to drop by, we'd greatly appreciate it.
What day is that?
It'll be next Thursday, the 18th.
18th?
Yes, 18th. 4 to 7 p.m. It'll be over in the parking lot by the soccer field. Questions? Okay. Thank you.
Turn report. No report. The commissioner has a report.
Okay, under my report tonight, I've got the jail sales tax funds, and what that is, I've had a couple of commissioners come to me and ask me about some ways we could increase the interest we were accumulating on our jail sales tax money that we've collected so far, and we're not able to spend except for anything but for the jail. And right now, that account has a little over $6 million, well, close to $7 million in it right this moment. And it is earning 0.5% interest, and we've talked to the bank, and we are going to start earning about 1.5% interest on just a checking account, but we were still looking at ways to increase the interest earnings on the money until it's time to start using those funds. I talked with our attorney, Alan Jones, and we also talked with our state auditors to make sure that we could do some things different on that. And after talking to them, we thought about looking into doing a CD, and so I reached out to some of the local banks and got some rates on a short-term CD on just $3 million of the funds, because we do need to have some money available to pay for our consulting services when we start getting ready to actually build the jail, having a piece of land, getting things ready for that. We needed to have some funds available. So I looked at only doing $3 million on a 12-month certificate of deposit, and I was able to get a rate of 2% from Shore Bank and Trust, along with that increase on our checking account of 1.5% interest monthly. In doing that with the CD for 12 months, it should increase our interest earnings the increase would be about $15,000 more than what we're earning on the funds that are going into the checking account, which are growing by at least $300,000 a month right now is what we're bringing in for the jail sales tax. And so I do have a resolution in your package for this, to be able to do these, this certificate of deposit with Troy Bank and Trust. If y'all got any questions on that?
That's $15,000 per year.
Additional funds. You're probably looking at around, I think it was around $60,000, $75,000 a year on the $3 million. Now the other funds that'll be left in the account, that's ever growing by it's probably around $315, $320 a month that we're bringing in the jail sales tax, and we'd be earning 1.5% on what's left in there and what's coming in every month in those accounts, or in that account. So it would be a way to just increase what you're earning on that money to lessen what the tax burden will be.
You're picking up that 2%, and not only on the balance that's left, which is 3 to 4,
Yeah.
but as McKenzie said, you got 300 plus coming in every month that was added to the balance, earning 1.5. So by the time the year comes to go, when you really stop and calculate it, probably, I would think, more significantly more than just anything. But that's just if you took the numbers right now.
Yeah, right now.
Without any growth.
It's not a that's it.
But if we do that, I would like to ask you to suspend the rules and let's go ahead and get that ball rolling so that we can go ahead and take advantage of those higher rates of interest on those funds. If you don't have any more questions on that, under current business, the first thing that I'll talk about would be the Pike County Jail. We will be having the final site selection presentation by TC2 at the next commission meeting on July the 22nd. They'll come in and do their final report to us on what they've looked at for the site selection. No action needed on that tonight. Yes. They'll come in, come to the next commission meeting on July the 22nd. We'll do that at the work session. Next, under the budget, like I've told y'all, we'll look at probably starting to schedule budget hearings the first meeting in August or whenever's best for y'all. We'll talk about the next meeting about when we want to schedule those hearings for the different department heads to come in and talk to y'all. Next would be item number 7, budget revision for the reappraisal. This has been presented to y'all. We just need to reallocate a line item. It was originally budgeted under the wrong account number essentially, and we've got it fixed to the right one, and I just need an approval on that so that we can get it turned into the state. And lastly is the PATS designated agency letter request. This is just approving the City of Troy as being the designated agency for the PATS grant. That's all the action I need, just approving us, sending that letter over so that they can get their application in again for the year. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. We'll convene the work session and we'll reconvene the regular meeting at 6 p.m.